Yeah, it's a beautiful setup, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Shelter from the Storm featuring Quincy 11
Yo.
on Instagram.
Quincy.
It's a very special episode today. We're on Valentine's. When you see this, it won't be Valentine's. You got a Valentine?
I do have a Valentine. The Lord is my Valentine. You know what I'm saying? The earth is my Valentine. And my Valentine is also my heart. So.
What are the different types of love? In English, we only have love, and I feel like it can mean a lot of different types of things. So, to you, what is love, and what are the different types of love?
To me, the different types of love are care, passion, and examples of that can be the things that a lot of our mothers go through in their own development in having a child and having emotions as a mother, going through things, going through life as a mother, but still carrying with a strong chest and carrying with a strong heart the basically family lineage in raising that child. Also the fathers, fathers doing whatever they have to do to make sure that their family eats and that things grow around them as well. Love is also growth, and growth, comfortability. When you grow into things, you get comfortable with them and you start to love that because you went through an experience with that and you were able to develop a stronger sense of a relationship with whatever you grow. So growth could be another.
Okay.
Yeah.
Growth, care.
Passion. I think that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what I said. Growth, care, and passion.
Thanks for sharing, yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, do you feel like you've seen those like two roles between your own mom and dad?
Why, of course. I seen those two roles. And I'm honored to have seen those two roles in my mom and dad. And the state that they were in when I was conceived was a very mature state that they were in. And my guardians were a lot older in age than, my friends and other family and things of that nature. So by the time they had me, it was them pouring into me what they basically developed within their own growth, like I was speaking on earlier, in education and, working a job and dealing with each other's emotions, because my mother and father have a story as well. And for them to have stayed together that long and be able to have me and still work it out, it was a good thing to be a part of and still be a part of because they're still here. But, growing into manhood now. So basically taking that vision of love and care and nurture into my own perspective and molding that into whatever crystal that is created and manifested.
I definitely see that love in a lot of things you share about yourself. And I feel like I've seen a lot of like you reflecting inwards and finding where you want to be and like what really inspires you. And I see you sharing it with people around you. Respect. You feel all right. Thanks.
With you as well, bro.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day. So, what are some red flags you watch out for? And specifically, someone you want to date.
Oh, man. He hit me with the red flags question. The first red flag I have is, I guess, basically ill awareness of boundaries, or I guess unawareness of timing. And maybe I'll count it as my red flag because I guess that's one of those things that people say is like a pet peeve. But it's like, when you're out with a group of people and there's a time and a place for everything, and there's a person that I guess doesn't know when to keep their composure and things get out of whack and stuff like that. Like, obviously, somebody that gets into arguments consistently, it's like if you get into arguments consistently, that may be a red flag for me.
With just anyone around them or like the friend group?
Anyone around them, the friend group, their family, just anybody in general. So that's a red flag. And this is my world as well. Like, answering these questions, this is my personal thing as well. So, folks out there, whenever you answer questions, don't always take things personal from whatever somebody's answer is. I'm not saying that it's women in America that I deal with that do these things, but these are just my red flags in my world of Quincy.
Yeah.
Another red flag, I guess, maybe somebody that shows that they don't want to take care of themselves. And I feel like that's a worldwide thing. It's like, if you don't take care of yourself, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not. It was basically the answer, So I guess, women that don't take care of themselves.
So someone who starts problems.
Someone who starts problems. someone who doesn't take care of themselves, and I guess somebody with maybe large amounts of fear. Let's say fear may be a natural thing, but when you bring your heart into the concept, your heart just beats. Your heart doesn't think, I hope I don't beat today. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like the Lord, your thoughts, your images, your dreams, those things have no fear. And somebody that is unaware of themselves shows an obvious expression of fear. So I'll say that for my three. What did I say? I said
someone who starts problems.
Mm-hmm.
You said someone who has a large amount of fear. It almost sounds like a crippling insecurity.
A crippling insecurity. You mind to explain that?
Yeah. Okay. I'd say a crippling insecurity is someone who's gonna let themselves hold themselves back, and it's not only gonna affect themselves, but it's gonna affect the people they love the most, and they won't be working on coming over that. So when you say a large amount of fear, it's we do all have fears, and we're gonna get new ones. But if you let one hold you back consistently for years, it's gonna be a lot harder to break through it, and we can't change people. So if I see someone with a large amount of fear, who's not trying to change it, it's you kind of have to accept them as they are, and I don't want to link up with someone forever who I want to change. Type.
Type. Hey! Clock. Respect. Okay, so those are the red flags, man. Those are my red flags, for real.
Okay.
Well, I could think of. That was a tough question though, because I guess I think about it all the time, but it's time to start implementing it. I've been locked in, especially on the semen retention tip and all of that, revitalizing myself. So I ain't even really been thinking about the ladies too much lately, but that was a good question.
Thanks.
Respect.
Okay, and now how about red flags with friends, people you work with?
Oh man, bad communication. Again, bad timing. It's if I tell you we're meeting up at this time, or you tell me we're meeting up at this time, and it seems to be a consistent pattern of bad timing, bad communication, and I guess misrepresentation of your own self. That's a red flag as well. Misrepresenting what you morally stand on.
Okay. What do you mean by misrepresenting what you morally stand on?
There's a lot of things that we morally stand on an internal realm. And a lot of times we'll think that people will misinterpret how we express that in a representation of who we are as human beings. So when you're able to, I guess, pinpoint that in a person, you're able to see, oh, this is a world that people want to adapt to and to come accustomed to. And this is a world where people want to, quote unquote, save face for what they believe in. And I feel as though as a coworker, or even as a person in general, as another person that's beside me, all green flags when we're able to represent how we firmly feel, as I said, in the heart. Because how we firmly feel in the heart is always going to lead to growth and oxygen and fluidity. You know what I'm saying? Because your heart needs that.
Okay. Yeah. versus someone who's I don't know who I am, could lead from that, not living an authentic self, not learning, but just trying to blend in to a point where it devolves their character.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. This next question is just green flags. Green flags you look for in a person dating.
Green flags I look for in a person: self-worth, self-balance, self-heal, good communication. Good communication, good affirmation, teamwork. They say that's what makes the dream work,
Communication and trust is what I've heard a lot.
Communication and trust. Trust is a motherfucker, I resonate with support, Trust, there's almost an expectation with trust. If I trust you, it's I expect you to It's if somebody doesn't follow through with what you expect, it's almost I don't trust you anymore. But it's see, trust is an iffy thing, because there's expectation with that. But support is I know you're gonna you have to be there, or not even you have to be there, but support is I'm a tree, the trunk gotta be strong because we're gonna grow out the branches. So if the trunk not strong, that's support. So support is a green flag too, because also it comes down to a brother and sisterhood. Let's say you encounter a sister and you love her deeply as that. Then that sister becomes a lover and you start to integrate with her on a deeper level. Now, unless you do some terrible fucked up shit, like some stupid shit that'll get you locked up. You know, let's say like y'all just break up. You're like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And she says, I don't trust you. But you really respect this sister. You loved her as a sister before y'all even, you know. And it's not like after y'all break up, it ain't going to be like, I'm not going to act like I don't know you. I'm going to see you later. And we cool, you know. But do you think that story leads into trust, or do you think that story leads into support? Do you think that the root of that story that I just expressed is trust, or do you think that's support? When basically going through that journey with the woman.
Okay, I like this. I like this conversation a lot. It sounds like support based on how you're saying it. Like, if she doesn't trust you, I hear what you're saying. Like, it's kind of like on her. Like, you found yourself not wanting to be in the relationship anymore. You didn't do like some crazy stuff. Like, you're tapped out. Yeah. Now, I feels like you'd still support her. Like, you still have like that deep, like caring love, maybe, where like you still want to like be there for her, stuff like that. And that could be like real support. But you know, it's kind of a tough conversation because some people, like when they break up, like, or at least for me, like one time I broke up with a girl. Actually, I've only had one ex, so the only time I've broken up with a girl. I like we didn't talk for like, we were gonna like not talk at all for like half the time that we saw each other. So like 6 months, so that we could like not like fall back into old patterns of like calling each other all the time. So we're like long distance. We have to be like calling, and that's like seeing this like I totally did not support her after breaking up. Like thinking about it. And so it's like, I don't know. I'm kind of lost in all this. I'm trying. Would you reiterate the question?
Oh yeah. Well, no. Thank you for sharing that story, man. I'm basically expressing trust is a foundation of expectation. Support is a foundation of necessity. Like it's mandatory. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically expressing in the art that you said you didn't support her after this relationship. That's in another world, basically. Because a lot of people are uncomfortable after things like that happen. Let's say I become vulnerable in that relationship and we become intimate. It's like after I did that with you, sometimes in people's mind, it's like, it's never the same. You know what I'm saying? I can't look at you the same. So that's where the separation of support happens, is the imagination that after we did whatever we did, I can't look at you the same. And it's like, why?
Yeah. I know.
and that's where the support comes in. That's where that world comes in. Because the why and the fact of the matter is because they're angry, for one, and those feelings are true. But for two, there is a reason for everything that's happening. It's like a school of fish. You think, let's say a clownfish. There's a school of clownfish. Okay. They have to see each other every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like this school of clownfish have been with each other for 35 years. Right. There's no breaking them up. This is, they're locked in. Okay. A relationship happens in that school of clownfish. After a relationship is over in that school of clownfish between one man clownfish and one woman clownfish, do you think when they swim past each other every day after they see each other after that relationship, they're going to be like, I can't look at you the same, clownfish? You know what I'm saying? Like if a shark was to come and attack our ass right now, clownfish, I would just leave you in the dust because of the relationship that we had. That's what I'm saying. We gotta look at nature, bro. Ants don't go over ants because of relationships. Maybe if an ant let a mosquito know where the, you know what I'm saying, where the trap was, they'd be like, nigga, we had to beat your ass because you let the enemies, Uh-huh. But when it comes to this love word and trust with humans, for some reason, we living in a different world. We like, after this happened, after I become vulnerable, after we do this, you just a low down, dirty person. Where does that root from? And you don't have to answer that, but if you feel like answering that, you can, but people have to think about that. Where does that root from, that thought, that seed of mistrust?
I would think that it could come just from like the feelings we feel and processing it. Because like one person could be hurt by someone, like breaking up with them, and be so hurt that they just like want to kind of like secure themselves. Mm-hmm. Like maybe they don't have a strong sense of their own like validation and self. And so when someone else hurts them, they kind of need to vilify the other person in order to still have some of their own value. Like someone who made them feel valueless has to not be valuable to remove their value.
You singing facts right now. You singing a song right now. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Keep going, bro.
Okay, but where does it come from was your question, right? Like, where does that come from? To like a school of clownfish, they might stay together, stay protecting from the shark, even if they hooked up. But people, different.
Exactly. And to be honest, we don't even really know if we're different because let's speak of the United States. We don't go through shit like that. We don't go through what animals and insects go through. Mm-hmm. There was a time when it happened. We go through it virtually now. You know, there's a virtual cattle. But let's say in the conversation of what they call the last of days or a purge, you know, it's rare that people in the United States go through situations like that. Mm-hmm. So we actually have the time to sit here and marinate on that frequency of like, I will not value this person. Because it's not like we're getting attacked. We're comfortable in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, the United States of America is comfortable, quote unquote. We get to sit in sorrow, which is a fucked up thing, which is different from overseas. They don't really sit in sorrow. They move more overseas. Like, a lot of their stuff is a manual. When you watch videos of like Asia or Africa, or not even watch videos, I've been to Africa. A lot of the things that they do is manual. Rarely do you see a heavy set person in Africa. And if they are heavy set, it's all muscle. They're able to move that suppression out of their body to a point where it's like their outer experience, yeah, they may have less resources, but their inner connection to what you call the universe or God is impeccable. A lot of us here, though, we sit in here in sorrow. We got think tanks in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We around cubicles and shit. Like, yeah. We get to sit in our misery and then go fuck it off or go like pay it off, go like shit, go have a ball at the circus or something, you know, like nigga, spend that misery off with some money. We got deep real quick. This rooted flags and green flags. This rooted from the red flag of Shorty and them, and we would talk about mistrust
and then the difference between support and trust.
Yeah, man.
So honestly, I still don't feel like I totally know. I still feel like I'm a little lost there.
That's a question to marinate on, though, brother. Yeah. Like, it ain't all them pieces ain't coming together right now. You seen Willy Wonka? Uh-huh. You remember Mike TV?
Is that the kid who got stuck in the TV?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And bits and pieces of him had to go across the sky to. That's like how concepts are. It's like you put something out there and your mind doesn't really grasp it yet, and they gotta put all them pieces together and shit like that. So I wouldn't harp too much on it right now, cause I ain't got the answer right now neither. Shit. This is a theory, folks. All right.
Well, cool. Thanks. I guess I'm loading then. But what do you think is the relationship between infatuation and love?
The difference between infatuation and love.
The differences, perhaps, but also the like what? Oh, thanks. Okay, like I'll explain it better. Okay. So like, let's say you meet someone, and they're like fine, and like they like really like you too, and it starts moving kind of quick. You're like 2 weeks in, you're like, I know it's only been 2 weeks, but like, I love her, mom, or whatever it is. Like, yeah.
Do you think that's infatuation? Is what you're asking?
Well, what do you think the relationship between infatuation and love is? Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, everybody has a drive, you know, so something drives you to something. So the relationship between that is basically like attraction. You know, like when you're infatuated with something, there's a magnetic pull that grasps you to that. And maybe in your heart that fills you with joy. So maybe that's where the love piece comes with it. As far as infatuation is more of the image. Love is more of the thing that you make out of that image, you know? So there's a feed or there's a consumption and then there's an output. The consumption is the infatuation and then the output is the love. So yeah, I guess the relationship within that is, as I said, attraction.
All right. I'll let that one marinate too. I recently had a dream where someone was like, I love you, and I was like, I love you too. And I woke up later and I was like brushing my teeth and I was like, oh, whoa. And so it's like, it feels so valid. Like, what does that mean to someone you just know? Like,
he said I had a dreams. That's hilarious though. So you remember your dreams a lot?
I do.
Respect.
But like not every time. But a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, of
times if I
course.
wake up and I'm like I feel like if I'm in like the middle of a dream and like my cat wakes me up or something, it's still like kind of locked in.
The cat. What type of cat you got?
Orange cat. I got a. He's like an orange tabby.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Moving away from the Valentine's subject.
Respect.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's.
Quincy, what are you doing here?
What I'm doing here is singing and sharing my voice, coaching, encouraging, being a heel, like the bottom of your foot. You know how you got heels. That's what I'm here for.
Cornerstone.
Cornerstone. Yee. Yeah.
Okay. Question I think about often. Quincy, what are you doing here? Do you think you found the answer?
I think the answer doesn't want to be found. I think it's a continuous search. There's so many things that we need to see. There's so many things that we still need to learn. So, Quincy, what am I doing here is, what's one of those things called a homonym? It's one of those things that you sing and you carry with you through the voice of the Most High, you know, and that we all have.
All right, cool. Thank you for sharing. How do you keep your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground simultaneously?
I engage myself. I engage myself with the earth. I engage myself with people. And in that, I also engage self-thought. And I give space between the self-thought and the people. So there's no expectation. And I stay humble, you know, when I'm making those engagements with the earth, when I'm making those engagements with music as well. Music is a ladder, dude. So, yeah.
Okay. Could you touch more on how music is a ladder?
You know, moonwalking is one of those things when it comes to music being a ladder. When you get into the moon, you get into the ocean. When you get into the ocean, you get into the waves. And when you get into the sun, that brings growth upon the earth. So I use moonwalking as a gesture because that's a dance. And a dance is the way your body uses music in order to be, in order to express, you know. With dance, sometimes comes sound and rhythm and hurts and things of that nature. So music is a compilation of sound and feel. It's a combination of sound and light, which you're able to experience in your dreams, in your thoughts, and in the physical reality. You can hear music in your dreams. You ever heard music in your dreams?
I have, but if I'm thinking right now, I don't know. But that's yeah. Have you heard music in your sleep?
I think music is my sleep. We making music right now, and that's what I was getting down to. It's like your heart is a rhythmic flow. You know, your breath is a rhythmic flow. Everything that can spark movement, you can correlate that with music. And I've heard music in my dreams, sang in my dreams, you know, and that's what this is as well. You know, the reality world is a musical realm as well.
Okay, now you say that you've sang in your dream. I do remember freestyling in my dreams sometimes. When I like, it kind of brings stress though. Sometimes I like wake up after a full day of like freestyling too much, and I like dreamt about freestyling, and I wake up like, oh, like I feel like I haven't rested. Like, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Okay, first song we're talking about now. We're gonna get into the songs. I'm gonna have a lot of song questions. I feel like a good topic on this is from Mushroom Man. I have a question kind of prepared. I'm gonna look at the notes because I want to sing it a little bit. All right, here you go.
Following my horizon as far as I can see. When the sun is at its peak, I go for many walks. I heard a cry and I finally found the answer. I feel so much stronger.
When is the sun is at its peak?
When is the sun at its peak? The sun is at its peak when it's on top of the crown. The crown is what we wear on the top of our head. So, yeah.
All right. I'll let that one marinate then. I'll still have to think about that.
When the sun is at its peak, I go for many walks is a true statement. When the sun is at its peak, I go for many walks. And I heard her cry, and I finally found the answer. I feel so much stronger now that I'm enlightened.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Maybe.
It's a correlation between the aspect of what they call the universe and yourself. Like angles are everything almost. You ever watch those movies when there's a specific basically pole in the middle of a sacred pyramid or something, and on top of that pole is like a triangle, and they're like, when the sun hits this angle, the clouds will align, and you know what I'm saying?
Jones.
Yeah, it's real shit, bro. Like, that goes with the positioning of your body when the sun is at its peak, bro. Like, those channels have an effect on your mind. Scientists study things like that. They call it the circadian rhythm. There's a sleep-wake cycle. Look it up, people.
So do you really, like, it's like noon, you're like, this is like a good time for a walk?
I mean, anytime for me, for real, anytime for me when the sun is out and we be chilling, like me and son be chilling. That just sounded good when you say that, when the sun is at its peak. I go for many walks. I wanted to shout him out in that moment of entirety. So, yeah.
Alright, cool. Thanks for sharing.
Respect, bro.
Okay, why did you name the song Mushroom Man?
In that span, I was really getting into mycelium, the mycelium network, which is basically the veins of mushrooms and like fungi and things of that nature underneath the ground. It's a communication network. So I was getting into that type of knowledge. I felt like I was a mushroom at that point. I looked at my body, I looked at my mind, and I said, hey man, you can make music just like the mushroom can make music. You a mushroom man. So that's what I named the song. And I was underneath the ground. I was in the basement when I created that song with a brother of mine that created a studio in a lab. Shout out to Jack Harrison. Yeah, that was the last time he was in the zoo. We created that off the woo out the bam. It was just like that.
Thanks for sharing. I can see that mushroom vibe, and I hear you like talking to someone. Like when you say stuff like you see the hurt in your face. Like, are you like, who are you talking to when you're kind of like giving advice and kind of saying things as they are and how you see them?
Talking to myself, talking to people that I see myself within. I'm talking to family, talking to the world.
Mushroom Man. Connected. So we're like all listening through the roots of the music.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Okay, near the end of the song, you say this is a message for freedom. What does that mean?
Yeah, the fat lady is singing, so you won, yeah. This is a message for freedom means I'm vibing with it. Freedom is already there. That's why I said the fat lady is singing, so you won. Freedom is basically a receiver at this point. Freedom, like, this is a message for you, because you are freedom. That's basically what I'm saying. The world is freedom. And I'm telling the world that the fat lady is singing, so you already won. So freedom, free yourself, Because freedom it has to be free. It's freedom, right? Okay. The only thing that could keep freedom down is if it doesn't know that it's free. You can't keep freedom down. It's free. And that's what I'm telling to the world, is that you are that.
All right. Thank you. This is a good conversation because your next song is called Freedom. Yeah. Okay. This song specifically, I feel like you can listen to it and it kind of like reminds me of being high, listening to music, just sober. Like I'm like listening to it, like floating a little bit. So I think that's kind of cool. The song's called Freedom and it feels free.
Was to platform the mind on that feeling of resurrection.
Okay, now I'm gonna go over some lyrics and ask you about them.
I never did guess I'm the bad man. Turn a trash can to a brass pan. Bash bam, new waves, freaking new waves. Speaking truth, phase, picking fruits. Maze freaking in my roots. Always ready to go straight head to head. What you gonna pick and choose? I don't know what got into me. Thinking that it's chemistry. A dog straight from the stars. Yeah, this the healer of the century. Yeah, I'm open up my mind and shut the blinds so all that luxury is nothing to me. Lights down, taking part of this earth, yeah. Give me a sense of freedom now. Give me a sense of freedom now. Yeah. At the top of that, I never did guess I'm the bad man. Turn a trash can to a brass pan. New ways, freaking new ways. Speaking true face, picking fruits. Maze, freaking in my roots. Always ready to go straight head to head. What you gonna pick and choose? Yeah. So I was basically speaking on the nature of my inner self, the nature of movement, the bloodstream, the heartbeat, as I was speaking on, and how we naturally can grasp an object as star people and make an instrument out of it. You can make an instrument at the top of the world. So in that sense, that's what I was speaking on.
Okay. The instrument of your voice being part of that freedom?
Of course, your voice has ladders as well. Your voice has scales, You can go high, you can go low. So when it comes down to it, I'm emitting that sense of appeal to what it is to be called freedom. I'm doing that through my voice. Because once you hear that, sometimes people is like, man, I feel so free. Like when I hear your voice, I feel free. That's how it is, man. Because you can take people there.
Great, thanks for sharing. I was talking to Quincy. I was talking to you yesterday about mind, body, and soul. Freedom felt like the mind. Yeah, I know you said you didn't do it necessarily intentionally, but the Mushroom Man felt like the soul. But this next song is definitely body. Go bananas. Yeah, I really like how you're talking about, like, I don't know, I like the energy you carry. Like, not to be weird, but I could definitely imagine, like, kissing my girl to that song. Like, did you have someone in mind? You said, like, rich and gorgeous. You talking about somebody?
I'm talking about my dark-skinned ladies, you know what I'm saying? My goddesses, real life. Shout out to my ladies out there that's winning, that feel good, that take care of their mental, that take care of their digestion. People with green flags, And that's really my sisters out here. That's who I be thinking about. That's who I be dreaming about, And I don't it ain't like I'm discriminating, you know what I'm saying? But that's just my preference. Mm-hmm. So when I'm creating that type of music, I'm talking to them, because I'm a very handsome man. Let me just say that.
You are.
So, out of respect for me being that, if I'm gonna make music, I'm gonna talk to the ladies most definitely. I'm gonna have to.
All right, yeah, I can understand that. Okay, what do you mean by are you ready to make the first move? Are you ready?
Hey, yeah, ready. Are you ready to make that first move? Well, as a respectful man, in many cases, the women call the shots, In many cases, the man has to allow her to do so. So, in that reference, I'm letting her know that there's a lot of things coming. Okay. Are you going to be ready to make the first move, And in that sense, that's what I like to hear when she lets me know. And she gives me that confirmation. I think, sometimes men need insurance as well, They need to be sure that you're sure, and have that support, So that's one of those things that's like, I'm asking and she gonna tell it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Especially because the whole song is like, you're like telling her like kind of how you feel, like how she makes you feel. Like kind of like asking those like questions like on the side, like the kuchinana and stuff. Yeah. And it's like.
Another thing is, what's it called? Permission. Another thing is permission for me. It's like you just said, I'm expressing how I feel and I'm letting her know. So out of respect for the sacred things that we have as organisms, it's like, shit. So are you ready to make the first move? After I just told you, you know what I'm saying, how I feel about you. Like, I ain't finna be one of them niggas that's just like, give me that. I want it. I need that. No, like, you let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Telling her how you feel. And then if she feels it back, she knows where you're at. It's up to her.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. And I understand what you're saying about, like, men kind of want that, like, confirmation, too. It's like, you don't want, or at least for me, like, I don't want to date someone that I think is just, like, letting me date them. I want them to do nice things to me, too. I want them to show they care in, like, their ways as well. So, what's, like, your love language, you think?
I have this conversation with many of friends. What's my love language? For me, quality time, I guess. What they say, quality time. Um, Support, like I said, support. And maybe acts of service. Acts of service. And I don't harp too much on that. I don't really hold anybody accountable. I don't love anybody less if they don't meet those standards.
All right. Well, hey, I want to take this moment to open up the floor. 2 shows upcoming. You don't want to miss them at all. One upcoming, the Clover Room. That's going to be March 12th. All right. We'll pull up at the Clover Room. You want to talk about anything else you're working on or you want to talk about?
Lately, I've been focused on getting my finger muscles tight, my toe muscles right. I've been locking into every pressure point that there is in my body, bruh. Shit, I just been, stretching, getting more comfortable with my body. And I specifically say my fingers in terms of music as well, getting more connected into instruments and playing more instruments, creating my own beats, and taking everything one step at a time, grinding for real. And shout out to Clover Room, March 12th. Doors open at 6, ends at 9. Jam session from 8 to 9 p.m. Kalamazoo, Michigan. Make sure y'all get some tickets on Eventbrite. That link will be in the description on Black Magic Media's Instagram page. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on. As promised.
Respect,
I got
man.
that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, brother. Hell yeah.
I appreciate you being on, for real. Thank you for taking your time to come out here.
For sure, man. I'm honored to be in the space. Shout out Rain Tools. Like I said, shout out Black Magic Media. Shout out the family. Shout out to Maya. Yeah. And I'm glad this is a very honorable space. I'm comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is cool, brother. You got some smooth vibes, you dig it?
This has been Shelter from the Storm, episode 2, featuring Quincy 11. Follow Quincy on Instagram. Catch the show at the Clover Room March 12th. Any final words?
Like you said, catch the show at the Clover Room March 12th. I'm going to let you know when that specific location is in April for the show. And catch us live and in cover, for real. Shout out to Rain Tools for inviting me in the space. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
For sure, man.